The night of August 6, 2025 was eerily quiet over Ochakov. The base, usually alive with the subtle hum of activity, seemed to hold its breath beneath the pale moonlight as if anticipating something unseen. A dense fog from the Black Sea swallowed the coastline, muting every sound. The world outside faded into a gray void, where even the crashing of distant waves was muffled to a whisper. Inside the 73rd Naval Special Purpose Center, British and Ukrainian officers watched encrypted data feeds, unaware of the danger creeping closer. Their eyes flickered between screens, searching for patterns, but the real threat was invisible to their technology. The command bunker buzzed with electronics, the air thick with tension and stale coffee. The low hum of machines was a constant companion, masking the anxiety that simmered beneath the surface. Outside, guards strained to see through the fog, their vision reduced to shadows and silhouettes. Every shape seemed suspicious, every movement a potential threat, but the night offered no answers. The base felt secure, shielded by layers of defense and the assumption that any threat would come from the sea or sky. Fences, cameras, and patrols gave a sense of invincibility, a belief that nothing could breach their perimeter. But the landward silence was a hidden vulnerability. The stillness on that side of the base was deceptive, masking the approach of something deadly. Suddenly the quiet broke, not with explosions, but with the soft thuds of silenced weapons. The attack began with a whisper, not a roar, catching everyone off guard. Sentries dropped wordlessly, the attack moving like a ghost through the mist. One by one, the outer defenses fell, their radios silent, their alarms untriggered. The raiders advanced with chilling speed, overwhelming the inner guards before alarms could sound. Their movements were rehearsed, precise and utterly merciless. The command center, once a sanctuary, became a battlefield in seconds. Desks overturned, shouts echoed, and the air filled with the chaos of sudden violence. NATO advisors inside noticed the first sign of trouble, a sudden, total loss of communication with the perimeter. Screens flickered, then went dark, leaving only uncertainty. Confusion turned to alarm as a British commander barked orders. Soldiers scrambled to respond, but the enemy was already inside, moving with terrifying efficiency. But it was too late. The doors burst open and figures in dark combat gear stormed in. The defenders barely had time to react before the attackers swept through the room. The attackers moved with ruthless discipline, their training unmistakable. Every gesture was coordinated, every shot deliberate as they cleared room after room. The element of surprise was absolute. Shock and disbelief froze the defenders, giving the invaders the upper hand in those crucial first moments. Western officers, strategists, and technicians found themselves face to face with the brutal reality of close-quarters combat. Theories and plans vanished, replaced by the instinct to survive. The war had arrived at their doorstep, silent and unforgiving. In the blink of an eye, the line between safety and chaos was erased. In less than 2 minutes, the base's nerve center was under enemy control. Years of preparation unraveled in moments, leaving only stunned survivors and a new, grim reality. The fog outside concealed both the attack and the escape. As quickly as they had come, the attackers melted back into the mist, leaving behind only silence and the first scars of a new conflict. The attackers were none other than the elite Russian Spetsnaz, renowned for their stealth and efficiency. They executed their meticulously crafted plan with flawless precision, moving like shadows in the night. The commandos swept through the command center with lightning speed, securing key personnel and control panels in mere seconds, leaving no room for error. Armed Ukrainian guards were swiftly neutralized, their defenses crumbling under the Spetsnaz's relentless assault. Western officers, seen as high-value targets, were specifically targeted for capture, their strategic importance undeniable. The Spetsnaz shouted commands with authority, forcing the advisors to the floor and binding their hands with practiced efficiency. Their mission was crystal clear: seize critical intelligence and extract high-value targets without leaving a trace. Specialists moved swiftly to the computer terminals, carefully removing encrypted hard drives and servers, ensuring no data was left behind. Every action was deliberate, aimed at capturing NATO's intelligence infrastructure intact, a testament to their strategic prowess. The raiders strategically ignored most Ukrainian soldiers, focusing their efforts on foreign nationals and the sensitive data they guarded. They worked against the clock, acutely aware that a response could come at any moment, adding urgency to their mission. Within minutes, the Spetsnaz efficiently herded their captives and stolen data into the fog, disappearing as quickly as they had arrived. Low-flying helicopters whisked them away, vanishing into the night, leaving no trace of their daring operation. The base was left in utter chaos, stunned Ukrainian soldiers, a disabled command post, and a profound sense of violation hung in the air. The aftermath was a stark reminder of the Spetsnaz's capabilities, leaving behind a scene of disarray and disbelief. The raid was a bold demonstration of Russia's special forces capabilities, showcasing their unmatched skill and precision. It sent a direct and chilling message to NATO. Your presence is neither secret nor safe, a warning that echoed across the globe. The operation was over almost as quickly as it began, a testament to the Spetsnaz's efficiency and planning. In its wake, the West was left reeling, grappling with the implications of such a bold strike. The Spetsnaz had struck at the very heart of NATO's advisory mission, a move that would not be easily forgotten. The consequences of this audacious operation would ripple far beyond Ochakov, affecting global military strategies and alliances. The true prize of the operation was the trove of intelligence captured from Ochakov, a haul that would soon send shockwaves through military and diplomatic circles. Russian teams moved swiftly, seizing encrypted hard drives and entire computer servers, digital keys that unlock the secrets of NATO's Black Sea operations and beyond. These devices contain detailed logs of drone attacks, intercepted communications, and high-resolution satellite imagery, offering a window into months of covert planning and surveillance. For Moscow, it was as if they now held the enemy's playbook in their hands, page by page, revealing intentions and vulnerabilities. Annotated operational maps laid bare the details of planned Ukrainian assaults, exposing the depth of NATO involvement and coordination. Handwritten notes in both English and German directly linked battlefield strategies to specific Western officers, leaving little doubt about foreign participation. Audio logs captured secure phone calls between Ochakov and high-level officials in London and Brussels, revealing real-time decision-making and urgent requests for support. One particularly explosive recording reportedly featured a British general discussing potential missile strike targets, a revelation with serious diplomatic consequences. Personnel files identified British, French, German, and Polish specialists stationed at the base, confirming the multinational nature of the operation. This intelligence exposed the intricate structure of NATO's command, mapping out roles and responsibilities in unprecedented detail. The Kremlin now possessed hard evidence to challenge Western denials, fueling propaganda efforts and sowing discord among NATO allies. The impact of the raid extended far beyond the battlefield, reshaping the strategic landscape and altering the course of the conflict. Ochakov's 73rd Naval Special Purpose Center was more than a military base. It was the hub of Western Ukraine cooperation, evolving from a training site to a command and control center. British intelligence led operations joined by French, German, and Polish specialists. The base coordinated Ukraine's most effective strikes against Russian naval assets. For Moscow, Ochakov was a de facto NATO outpost, a direct threat. The raid aimed to dismantle Ukraine's maritime command and expose Western involvement. Losing Ochakov blinded Ukraine's navy and severed its link to NATO intelligence. The attack was a calculated blow to Ukraine's war machine and a warning to the West. No location, however secret, was beyond Russia's reach. For the Kremlin, the Ochakov raid was a propaganda windfall. Russian media showcased helmet cam footage and seized documents, framing the operation as a heroic victory. Maps and audio recordings were broadcast as proof of NATO's direct role. The message: Russia was defending itself against the entire West. Domestically, the story boosted morale and justified the war's costs. Internationally, Moscow aimed to sow doubt and division within NATO. The raid's narrative targeted non-aligned countries and anti-war sentiment in the West. The propaganda campaign was relentless and effective. Rumors quickly spread that high-ranking NATO officers had been captured. Social media buzzed with names and speculation, fueling anxiety in Western capitals. Official sources stayed silent, neither confirming nor denying the reports. This ambiguity became a weapon, forcing NATO to navigate a crisis in the shadows. Western governments issued vague statements, buying time and avoiding escalation. The uncertainty left the world guessing: were officers being held as bargaining chips, or was it all disinformation? The truth remained hidden behind layers of secrecy. The fate of the men from Ochakov became a ghost story of the new Cold War. The absence of information was as powerful as any declaration. The question lingered: what price would be paid for their return? The Ochakov raid's impact split along geopolitical lines. In Russia, it was celebrated as a triumph, proof of military prowess and resolve. State media replayed the story, fueling national pride and support for the war. In the West, the mood was grim and cautious. The raid exposed NATO's vulnerabilities and triggered frantic damage control. It forced a re-evaluation of how far the alliance could go in Ukraine without risking direct confrontation. For Ukraine, the loss was a painful setback, highlighting dependence on Western support. The attack underscored the constant threat from Russian special forces. The era of operating with impunity was over. The Ochakov raid was more than a military strike. It was a statement in the shadow war between Russia and the West. By seizing data and possibly personnel, Moscow exposed NATO's covert leadership and forced a reckoning. The operation blurred the line between advising and participating, daring NATO to respond. It showed that in modern warfare, a stolen hard drive can be as valuable as a captured city. The risk of direct confrontation grew as both sides probed each other's red lines. The events of that foggy night revealed the hidden front of the war in Ukraine. The world edged closer to a conflict no one wanted, but that now seemed frighteningly possible.